right, it's that time of year again. James Suckling released his top 100 wines of 2025, except he did it a little differently this year. So I'm excited. Welcome back to Drinking It In. I am your host, Chris Casara. We are here to help you know more and drink better. And it's time to review James Suckling's top 100 wines of 2025 and give you some observations, some of the wines I'm targeting, and one super value. Now, I don't necessarily align with James Suckling's palate. I cannot watch him on video. Very few people in this world that qualify for that, but for some reason I just don't like his presence and how he presents himself. But putting all that aside, you can't argue with his success and you can't argue with the voice that he has in the wine industry. So I always review the top 100 to get insights on trends, ideas on maybe wines I'm not exposed to, and see if there are any wines in my price range, right, which is kind of hard to do on his list generally, if there are any wines in my price range to target. Now, putting this list together is a team effort by James Suckling. I believe he has a team of like 12 tasters. It's not just him tasting thousands of wines and putting this together. In the past, his lists were for people with super large wine budgets and also were not easy to find, right? As most of the wines on the list were priced like well over $100 and some of them were really small production. This year he did it a little differently, which is kind of exciting. Ultimately, I'm going to get to the 8 wines that I'll be searching for, and be sure to stay tuned until the very end for one wine that's on the top 100 country lists and is just a super value. But let's start with the basics, right? In the past, there didn't really seem to be much of a criteria on the top 100 wines other than high scores, right? Whether that, maybe there was a requirement that it was high priced as well. This year, all the wines in the top 100 were priced under $200. Okay, good start, right? And the wines that were in the top 10 all had to be priced under $100. So I like where this is going. Perhaps James Suckling watched my video last year because this is some feedback that I had given him. And maybe there are more wines on this list that'll interest me and be in my price range, which is generally $50 and under. I don't play very often in the greater than $50 a bottle wine market. Lastly, there was special consideration given to minimum production levels. So the wines that are on the list and certainly near the top should be findable. Is findable a word? I should look that up. Findable with a little effort. I wonder what the reason for the price change and the methodology change was. Like I said, maybe he looked at my review last year, which kind of was a little scathing in terms of the prices that were out there. I doubt it, but it is nice to dream. It's a nice turn of events. All right, let's get into it. So now when you take a step back and look at the list in its entirety, the average price is still very high, right? There are only 10 wines that were priced less than $50, and the majority are priced between that 100 and 200 mark. Now, I think we need to expect higher prices for wine since inflation continues to rage around the world. Although if you listen to the narrative from the US government, there is no inflation. There's no inflation. Our prices they keep coming down, right? Everything's down. Everything is better. All right, I'm sorry. I suppose now you can say anything and just not be accountable these days, which is unfortunate. We have so much knowledge out there and it's being misused day after day after day, more so than ever. All right, no politics on this channel. I'm sure I've lost half of you already, but let's focus back on the list. I'm not a subscriber to the website, and most of the links are behind paywalls. But you can, I put all the wines in a spreadsheet, I categorize them. I was going to get my wife to create pivot tables, but Excel just does that for you these days. It says analyze data, so crazy. So we've got a good breakdown on countries and how the countries and grapes are representative. Let's start with the countries. France is well represented, as you might expect. Last year, Italy was the top one. France is the top this year with 32 wines on the list. Lots from Bordeaux. If you're counting at home, 15 of them. And it does make some sense, as most of these wines, or the wines I've tasted recently, are the 2022 vintage. And that was a really strong one, and something that you should really consider for your cellar. And Bordeaux produces lots of reasonably priced wines. Reasonable in this context is under $200. Like I was saying, 2022 getting a lot of high praise. So anything from that vintage Bordeaux wines, you're going to merit. It's going to merit serious consideration to cellaring. Italy was second on the list, the second most represented country with 20 wines, falling from its top spot last year. 10 of the wines were from Tuscany, but it wasn't just Brunello's. It was nice to see in Italy, like almost the entire country is represented. You have Brunello, Barolo, and Chianti Classico, of course, right, as expected. But there are also several wines from Sicily, several wines from Etna within Sicily, Soave. There was a Vino Nobile, di Montepulciano, even a Trebbiano. They went pretty deep on Italy this year. Don't worry, my American friends. James Suckling is not a USA hater. He's a patriot. He's a patriot like all of us. The US has 14 wines on the list. Argentina, Australia, and Chile were strong with 7, 6, and 5 respectively. One, I guess, special note here is that Austria also had 5 wines ranked in the top 100. 4 of them were in the top 20. 3 from Burgenland. So I have discussed Austria and how much I enjoy Austrian wines, and this list is no exception. It's telling you this. It's giving you the same advice. All right, great breakdown. 14 Pinot Noir, 13 Chardonnay, 8 Riesling, 8 Sangiovese, 8 Merlot, 7 Cabernet Sauvignon, 6 Syrah, 5 Nebbiolo. Pinot Noir is now the big dog. Now let's get into the wines that I will be actively searching for because I was interested by both the tasting notes, price points, and just stuff that is kind of in my sweet spot right now. At number 74 on the list, the 2024 Chakra Chardonnay from Patagonia. $65, a little expensive, but apples, lemons, stones, seashells. That sounds so good. I am searching for seashells in wine lately. I'm trying to make sure that I can taste it because it's a difficult one for me. So any tasting note that includes that descriptor gets my interest. Number 58 on the list, 2023 BB Greats, or BB Gratz, Testamata. I have to learn how to make sure I'm saying that right. $65. This remains on my list to try. I've been threatening, for years to taste this. Maybe 2026 will be the year that I taste this. It's a Sangiovese-based wine from Tuscany. Number 38, the 2023 Michel Gounier Morgon Canon, $37. Not familiar with this Beaujolais producer, but this wine was described as a flower reaching out towards the sun. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it does. I've had Beaujolais that kind of invoke that type of a visual, but I really need to work on my tasting notes and make them so much more dramatic. Lots of 2023 Beaujolais wines on the list. So take note of that for building your cellar, because it's very important. Beaujolais can age, and I've had 15-year-old Beaujolais that were dynamite. Number 32, another Beaujolais, 2023 Domaine Anita Moulin Avant, Coeur de Vigneron, $44. Not familiar with this guy either. This producer has a velvet texture with the depth and finesse of a Grand Cru Burgundy, with the vitality of the Beaujolais region. Once again, I have to work on my tasting notes. Number 30, 2023 Dumont Chardonnay Napa Valley Carneros, the Hyde Vineyard. Now, this is $100 a bottle, but I went to a Dumont tasting dinner at Oberlin. Oberlin is a fantastic restaurant in Providence. My wife and I went last year. We did a tasting dinner where they just poured Dumont wines, and the Chardonnays, especially, I mean, the red wines were great as well, but the Chardonnays that Dumont produces were the best Chardonnay wines I have ever tasted in my life. And I love my Hamilton Russell from South Africa. I love my Sojourn Cellars San Giacomo Vineyard Chardonnay from Sonoma. But these Dumal wines just were stunning. So I need to, even though this is double what I'm usually budgeting on a bottle of wine, these are some wines that are really special. And if you see them and you can stand the freight, they're gonna be special wines for you to enjoy. Number 5 on the list, 2023 Arterberry Maresh Pinot Noir. So this is from the Dundee Hills in northwest of the US. $33. Now this wine has a mid-palate that includes bitter orange, seashells, there's that seashell note again, iron and crushed bricks. That's a really cool tasting note. And I feel like I need to taste a little more Pinot Noir this coming, going forward in general, but definitely next year. Number 3, 2023, Jean-Marc Burgot, Morgon, Côte du Puy, $25 to $30. I continue to say that Beaujolais is one of the world's most underpriced wine region. And this one, if you happen to see it on shelves, you should stock your cellar with this wine. Like I said, they can age well, and Jean-Marc Burgot is a producer that I've enjoyed many times over and over many years. Number 1 on the list, the 2022 Chateau d'Issan Margaux. So is that $70 a bottle? I think it's one of those wines that I'm familiar with the producer to some extent, mainly through watching videos from the attorney Sam, John Jackson on YouTube. This one is kind of in a really good spot in terms of, okay, $70, a little expensive, but you can buy this one, lay it down for many years, or even drink it young, apparently, because it is approachable now. All right, I have to make good on my I have to make good on my promise for the bonus wine. I mean, the top 100 lists are available for some of the bigger regions, bigger countries, and they are worth a look. And they're not behind the paywall, so you can get to them. But due to the list requirements mentioned in the intro, as far as price and distribution, some of the wines that appear on the country lists. Some wines appear on the country list but did not make the overall top 100. So I took a run through, right? And one wine that stuck out for me that I'm definitely going to look for was number 9 on the top Australian wine list. The 2025 Riesling Freak Riesling Eden Valley number 4. Now, 97 points for a $15 Riesling from Australia, something that's got lemon pith, grapefruit rind, passion fruit, herbs, and white flowers. I am in. This could be a really sneaky one to cellar as well. A rare value and price and rating combination that you don't typically find on these lists. I have no idea whether it's available in the US, but I am going to be looking for it. Final note, something that I just found interesting when you looked at the top 100 wines from France. The Jean-Marc Burgot Morgon is number 1. But yet the Chateau d'Issac is from the Margaux is number 2. Interesting that on the top 100 overall list, they put the Bordeaux number 1 and the Beaujolais number 3. But on the France list, Beaujolais number 1, Bordeaux number 2. Hey, let me know if you use any of these lists to inform some of your purchases. Do you ignore them completely? Or something in between. Also, do you like James Suckling? Am I just off base by not being able to watch this guy talk? I might be. People seem to love him. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this review and my ramblings, and I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to link up the Wine Enthusiasts top 100 values this year. Because I just did that a few weeks ago. Lots of good stuff on that list too. Worth a video watch. I'll see you soon.